idea.
Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to do this on the hockey set because THG said it's okay. So the trip to California, I came back with some tour shirts, some snacks, and a sunburn. And so it's all, and really it was that we were going to walk from Venice Beach to Santa Monica Pier, and I didn't think it was going to take as long as it did. So direct sunlight on parts of my legs and
Your
and neck,
Canadian
and
skin.
yeah, and it just
I, on the other hand, wear sunblock every single day
yeah.
because look how pale I am.
I
I only
did.
burned like the tiniest bit, but
I
wouldn't
swear
even
I
call it
got
burned. I got
I
the
got
tiniest
some
pink.
some sunblock there because my arms aren't all burned.
Right.
So, but at any rate, it was a great trip. The walk was fun along the beach. The sand is absolutely gorgeous. It's a great walk. It was a good time. Parts of it kind of felt like we were in Mexico.
Yeah, it was really neat.
And some of the architecture in that area is kind of fun. There were some fun houses you took
Yeah, one
pictures
with
of.
the weird little fort
She kept
thing.
taking pictures of flowers and plants
I did.
because that's what she does.
I do.
And
They have totally different plants down there.
I did make sure to take photos a lot more on this trip than I normally do because it felt like this was a trip we might not take in, at least. I don't know when we'd be back in that part of Los Angeles
Right.
again. I don't know if we'll ever be back in the LA Coliseum again. So I took as many pictures as I felt were necessary, or at least I felt good with. And it was a really packed 2 days,
It was.
but we got her done. We got home.
It wasn't. It was like barely even 2 days.
I had planned on doing like videos
we
when I
didn't
got home.
We flew in on Friday. We got there Friday early afternoon, and we flew out first thing Sunday morning. So not
Yeah.
even 2 days.
Yeah. But I had planned when we got home to do at least 2 videos, and after I did the video when we got home, my body said,
We
"No,
had 3 days, and each 3 days we only got like 4 hours of sleep. So
you just
were
reviewed
so tired.
that Canucks game, and you're done."
Yep.
My body told me, "Yeah, you're done.
So tired.
It's over." So my brain shut down because I had
You're too old.
because I mean once those jets get started, and our hotel was right next to LAX.
Yeah.
Good luck getting back to sleep once you hear
Yes.
those engines
Oh my
roaring.
gosh. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, because the one morning
because
we
it's
only had to wake
every
up at 7. and
every
we woke up
20
at 6.
seconds, and I woke up at 5:59, and that was right around where the jets really get started. So yeah, and then once I was awake, I was done. But it was an enjoyable trip. It's an interesting and huge city, Los Angeles. I didn't get to see and do everything we would have wanted to see and do, but really
We
the
knew
plan
we
was
wouldn't.
to get to the Rammstein concert, get as many shirts as we could, which we did.
We did.
The first night, the merch lineup was insane. So we got back
We stayed in line for a little bit, and then we're just
Yeah.
like, nope.
we got back when the gates opened for this one, and we were in line, and
We
it took
ran
about,
to one of the merch tents.
yeah, it took like 10 minutes, and then we were at the front of the line, and we grabbed as much as we could. And again, I have a lot of shirts, as I pointed out before we went on the trip, but now I have a lot more. So, and that way you can see them in person. You don't have to worry about shipping and handling coming from Germany and all that fun stuff. Plus, because we were outside of Canada for more than 48 hours, I didn't have to worry about duties coming back either. So, it all worked out pretty well. It was a I wouldn't even say it was really a stressful trip. Like for time. For time, there was a bit of a stressor in there, but outside of that, it was.
But we knew beforehand
good.
that we wouldn't have much time
Right.
to do anything besides the concerts.
Right.
We knew we had Saturday morning, and I wanted to be able to go to the beach, and we knew that was about all we would be able to accomplish.
Yeah.
So
And
I think we did really good with it.
and then on our way back up yesterday, we went to Five Guys and
Yeah.
had, because people have mentioned in live streams
People
on
have
the other
asked us
channel,
so many times
if you've ever
if
gone
we've
to
gone.
Five Guys, so now I have. Burgers okay.
Yeah.
We didn't have fries.
So we don't really eat fries.
No, but
Well, I don't.
they've got the fun soda machine, which is where you choose all your own flavors, and it was great. The Diet
Very
Coke.
similar to the ones we have up here, but a little different.
Very often when I get soda, when it's diet soda, the bib needs to be changed, so the actual
The syrup.
syrup is running out, And so I got the raspberry Diet Coke, but it tasted really good. And I was like, okay, this is good. It's really excellent. Then we go home, I'm like, man, I want some more raspberry Diet Coke. I'll order something from Wendy's. They need to change the bib. As soon as I tasted it, I was like, that's like flavored seltzer water. Cool. Great. So, when it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's just awful. But anyways, I don't think they'll use that in any marketing of any sort. But it was a great time. We
did go to In-N-Out Burger. That's one we get asked about all the time.
Yep,
too.
we did. We did go to In-N-Out while we were down there. Cyrus and Terry took us there.
Yep.
That was enjoyable. It was better than the first time around because we got to choose our own food this time. First time out, it was that a subscriber had paid for us to have certain food, so we had the food that was recommended. This time out, I had food that I wanted, and it was good. The fries are really good because they're freshly made, which they are at Five Guys too, because they got all these bags of potatoes by the front door there. But yeah, I will definitely hit Five Guys again. In-N-Out was good, but again, I didn't think it was spectacular. It was okay. Five Guys burgers are huge though.
They are. We had
the junior one, and I could barely finish it.
I couldn't finish mine.
It's like how, like, I guess it's 2 patties for the regular. I just no, because I looked at the calorie count. I'm like, holy Lord, 900 calories for a regular cheeseburger. Normally it's like 400. So, but at any rate, it was a really, really great set of concerts we saw. So we were on what I call the Richard side, which if you're on stage, Richard would be facing out on the left-hand side, Paul on the right. Rammstein is always in the exact same order and in the exact same placement on the stage. This dates back to their concerts in the late 90s. So there's certain places everybody stands. So when I was buying tickets, I made sure that for that first concert we were on the Richard side. Richard Krusch being my favorite member of the band. And then for the second side, I thought, all right, well, for the second concert, I'll go over to the Paul side. I've never been on the Paul side. But one thing that stands out is, on the Richard side, you get a really good view for Pupa. You get a really good view for Mind Tile, which you don't get on the Paul side. Plus, on the side we were behind one of the big, I don't want to stanchion or big, huge
tall thingies that we could
huge
see from
monolith,
the plane.
the huge monolith, and it blocked out the middle part where the logo was. But
screen, the middle screen,
it was fine. Yeah. It was fine. It was great. So this is your set list. So starting with Army der Tristen, which is from the new album from Zeit. And I love this song now. I absolutely love this song. There are songs of theirs that once you've seen them live, it's a whole new ball game. Asha zu Asha was the first example of that. Much better live, I feel, than in studio. Zigzag, I'm still not a huge fan of Zigzag.
I don't mind it. It's not...
Zigzag's okay, but that's the one where I go, Kind of Lust would have fit in really, really well right here. I would have gone for Kind of Lust instead. But I've seen Kind of Lust twice. I saw it in Vancouver and saw it in Edmonton because I'm spoiled with Rammstein concerts now. But she didn't get a chance to see that, which is too bad because that song's fantastic. And then, of course, Links 2, 3, 4, which they have to have. And where they have the flashing horizontal, vertical, they've done it that way every concert. As far as I know, the lights flash sideways, up, sideways, up. It's to mimic marching, I guess. But Links is absolutely fantastic every time. And I was cheering along every time that you're supposed to pump your fist. I was cheering and pumping my fist. I don't know how many people around me were, but it wasn't a lot.
But most of the floor was.
So the floor was, but I mean, we're 24 rows up on one side, 30 rows up on the other, so I don't know that... The band never made eye contact with me this time, which is different than in Vancouver, but Vancouver was a smaller venue too. Then Sehnsucht, because you have to have Sehnsucht in every single Rammstein concert. It is, and they have the big explosion. The funny thing too is the concert was quieter night 2 than it was night 1. And I noticed there was a lot more helicopters going over night 2 than there was night 1. So, and I would think a heavier police presence night 2 than we had night 1.
I didn't notice that.
I noticed that on some level. So it just felt like it was a little more quiet, and I noticed more empty seats the second night than there was the first.
Well, the first night was sold out. The second night was
The
not.
first concert, that was the first one they...
mostly full.
Like, the September 23rd concert was the one they announced, and then the 24th was added on after. So all of your rabid Rammstein fans would have had to have had that first concert. Not everybody would have been able to go to both.
3 years.
Yeah. And then Zeigdish, oh man, I love that song. And live, it is so good. It's just, and I love it anyways, but the live version is just, it is absolute perfection. And then they got into Mein Herz brennt, which scared you because they started the song, and then...
The second time it didn't, because I knew what was going to happen.
And then he gave the crowd the finger when they chanted Mein Herz brennt. But yeah, they play the whole song. It's great. And the reason that's kind of scary is because the song Rammstein, on their last tour, they would start the song Rammstein. They would get right up to the part where the first lyric of the song is the band Rammstein. The name of the song and that topic is actually what the band named themselves after too. So the crowd would sing Rammstein, and then Till gave them the finger and they went into the next song. So they didn't actually play it. I would be so upset if that happened at a concert I was at. I was like, oh man, they're going to play Rammstein. I love this song. Oh, what? No, don't go to the next song. No, go back. But Mein Herz brennt is absolutely fantastic. And Puppa, one of your favorites.
Yep, two of my favorite songs.
The wind changed directions between that first and second concert, so we got absolutely zipped in confetti the second time, comparatively speaking, with the first.
I caught
one piece,
and there was none around us.
None on the floor. It all blew out of the arena, and I said, and I know you didn't hear me,
flying over.
I know you didn't hear me, but I said bye, bye confetti.
I did hear you.
You got by. And I just kept picturing like people outside of the building not knowing what's going on, having confetti come out and land, and seeing smoke everywhere.
Well, there would have been the white ones. I could see the white ones went really
and then
far.
you see smoke everywhere and you hear explosions and be like, what in the world is going on in there? Hirata Mish, I am so happy this was in the playlist. That's the one that I got giddy about the first night. I think I got giddy about it again the second night. Like, it's one of my favorite songs. It's from their first album. The second concert, I wore my Herzeleid shirt, the 25th anniversary. I only saw one other person wearing a Herzeleid themed shirt, although hers wasn't the 25th anniversary, so those shirts are rare. Yvonne didn't bring hers with her because she couldn't find it before we left.
It was in my drawer. I thought it was a Tool shirt because of how it was folded.
Yep, and this is 25th anniversary too.
I thought it was my Tool shirt. Well, one of my Tool shirts.
But yeah,
Shannon has a ton of Rammstein shirts. I have a ton of Tool shirts.
Yeah, I think I have about 20. I'm gonna do a video at some point on my rock shirts, and we'll go through it. But yeah, Hirata Mish is one of my all-time favorites. I'm so glad I heard that one live. Zeit. So this is one of those examples. Zeit is a song I was not a fan of on the album. When they released it as a single, I was like, really, this is a single? Okay. But after seeing it live, oh man, that song is fantastic live. It's heavier. So one thing with Rammstein songs is they definitely amp up the guitar for the live performances, comparatively speaking, with the songs. So the melodic songs still end up being really guitar heavy. And with Zeit, it just makes the song better. Just absolutely fantastic song. And then, of course, you get into Deutschland, which was segued into by Richard Kirsch playing the remixed version, which is just an excuse to get the band off stage and go have a drink, dry themselves off, get a little bit of a rest, and then he's just DJing.
Yeah.
And then they play Deutschland, which is just that song. I always get chills, and just that performance and the big spotlight. It is absolutely fantastic. This is the one shirt I wish they had that they didn't have at the merch table, which was a Deutschland themed shirt with the lady who represents Germany in the video. I was excited. I was like, oh, I want to get that. They didn't have it. And then that goes into Radio, which is also from the self-titled album, which is, I think, starting to become my favorite album from them, which is saying something because Mutter is fantastic. But yeah, Radio is a very good song. Or Radio is a very good song. And it transitions immediately into Mein Teil. They have the thumping at the end. And then it goes right into that riff from Mein Teil, which is one of my favorite guitar riffs in history. It's just, and that's one where I bounce around quite a bit at the concert because I'm just so excited and I know all the words. I sing along, and the guy we were next to at this concert, he knew the words to some of these songs too, and he was singing along with me to Mind Tile. That is just, I mean, the ones that I was singing along to the most, Lynx, Zeig Dich, Heirate Misch, Deutschland, Mind Tile. Of course, everybody sings along to Du Hast.
Yeah.
Du Hast is kind of the, it doesn't matter whether or not Rammstein's sick of it, they have to play it song.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is their hook. It's the one everybody knows.
It was the song that was played on the radio in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever played any other songs then.
I never heard since.
No, I hear other Rammstein songs on the radio now.
Angel's was a bit of a
satellite radio, not regular radio.
Angel was a bit of a hit on this side of the pond, but nowhere near Du Hast. And then they closed out the main set with Shauna.
Which was awesome.
Which, boy, the fire. So what I did during this concert, too, because I don't think they're going to come back where I can see them for a long time, unless we went to Quebec for a concert. But even then, if the rumors of them retiring in Europe next year are true, then that's that. But I recorded snippets of every single song that they played, because I thought, I want to immortalize this for myself, not post them all on YouTube so I can, whatever. But I wanted it for myself, right? Each song I recorded a bit, and with Shauna I made sure I got as much of the fire as possible, because it's ridiculous on that song. It is absolutely ridiculous. We did see a couple of ladies there dressed like Snow White, which if you're not a fan of the band, you'd wonder why there's a couple people there dressed like Snow White. But the guy dressed as the dragon.
I don't get it.
I don't understand why there's a guy dressed like a dragon.
And the day before, there was somebody dressed as a jester.
Yeah, and the jester, I'm thinking, okay, so when would
Mardi Gras
Rammstein
jester?
When would Rammstein have done a song?
I don't remember one.
See,
and I don't remember the dragon. And it's like,
and I keep thinking of like Rosenrod.
One of the costumes that one of my boys wore all the time when they were tiny.
Yeah,
like cartoon dragon.
Like
cartoon dragon.
Like Piff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, similar
kind of thing.
But
it was
more
just
little.
So maybe he thought Piff was coming out, but he didn't. Maybe dragons breathe fire, so
there you go.
It's as good a
totally
reason as anything. So then you get into the encores, and this is where you start off with Angel, because Angel is angel in English, right? This was, of course, the piano version, played with the two ladies, Duo Yetakok, who
they were
awesome. The opening act, and I got pictures of them as well. I recorded a bit of their performance too. They're great, and I really like them. I'll be following them on Spotify and see what else they do. And yeah, I would follow them on Instagram, but my Instagram's broken. Both of my Instagram accounts have been broken for a while, and I'm just done trying to fix them. So I'm off Instagram. Although I think my Facebook account still posts Instagram. I don't have access to it. Because that's irony for you right there. But yeah, Angel just... And honestly, the funny thing is, even though he didn't have the wings and you didn't get to see... It doesn't matter. There was so much other stuff that they did that's fine. That's fine. And then they go back to the main stage via the boats. They had many boats. When does Till go back? Does he go back first?
I was trying to watch.
I was trying to see. Okay, so Till goes. When does he get back to the main stage? I couldn't see it, and yet I was trying to watch for it. He was there first,
though.
Yeah.
So I think he just walks real quick.
And I think I understand now why he doesn't get in the boat. There has to be somebody on the other end to help them out. Otherwise, there's the potential they're trying to get out of the boat. The boat's off kilter, and either they fall into the crowd or they wipe out trying to get onto the bridge that gets them back onto the stage. So I'll give Till the benefit of the doubt on that one. And if there's anybody in the band who's strong enough to pull everybody out of that boat, it's Till.
He is the
Till is a big dude. But yeah, then they play Auslander when they got back to the main stage. Auslander is an absolutely fantastic song. I remember when that album came out, and I saw people saying, well, this is like a techno kind of sounding song, and this isn't real Rammstein. Okay, you guys are forgetting they do have different sounds on every album. I mean, on one of the songs on Sehnsucht, it sounds like they've taken Looney Tunes sound effects and put it in there. So it's an old-fashioned thing with Rammstein to do things that are a little different. But Auslander's fantastic. Du Riechst so good, which they do the same as they did the whole way through. They still do the walk and the headbang and then walk back, and they've done that the whole way through. That song is always fun. Every Rammstein concert, you're guaranteed Sehnsucht, Du hast, and Du riechst so good. Basically, Shauna, Lynx, and Ishville will be guaranteed too, but those are the ones that have been staples since before the Mutter tour. And then you get this one here where he's on the cannon and everybody gets sprayed. And then there's the white confetti that comes out after that and all that fun stuff. We did not get any white confetti or black. Well, we got the one black one, didn't we? And then we didn't get any of the white confetti at all. At that point, the wind's just carrying it right out of the building completely. But yeah,
the white ones looked really fun when for the next song they had the red light, and there was white ones since the wind picked it up and it went really.
There were
really
white ones
high
way above the stadium.
Yeah, they were way up there, but the red light was catching it. So for a second, I was like, "Wait, did those catch on fire?" Because there was all the flames.
Yeah.
But nope, it's just red lights on the white confetti.
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was neat looking.
So you get that, and then you get another break of sorts, and then Rammstein. So they play Rammstein, and man, that song is just so good. It should be a staple of all of their concert tours. But I've mentioned this before, every Rammstein concert they have one song where they mention the band's name. And I remember noticing that back in 2011, before I went to the concert in Edmonton, that Ramlied was the first song on the set, and they had no other song that mentioned their name. And it's a weird Setlist thing with Rammstein. They have one song that mentions their name every concert tour. So that'd be this one here, obviously. Which then led into Ishville. The crowd went nuts when Ishville started up. I had more energy for Ishville the second time than I did the first time. First time I was kind of like, and I'm done.
Were really, really
I paced myself better the second concert. I paced myself. I knew Ishville was coming and I had to have some energy to party to that one. Because Ishville is one fantastic song. Plus, both concerts, I had my arms up before he said, "Let me see your hands," meaning I'm a true Rammstein fan. Because he says, "Eure Hände sehen." He wants you to put your hands up, your hands seen. And I was like, all right, so that, get your hands up. And then he will tell you, because we don't all speak German, "I won't let me see your hands, get your hands up." And I already had mine up before he said it, so there you go. I did it in Vancouver, too. I forgot in Edmonton. I was so mad at myself in Edmonton that I didn't do it. That he had, "I want to see your hands." Oh, I wasn't before the rest of the crowd.
You were the true Rammstein fan then.
So I fixed it in Vancouver, and now I got it both times. In fact, I grabbed her hand and picked her hand up the second concert. I was like, gotta get her hands up. We'll be ahead of everybody else with this. And then that led into Adieu, which is the final song of the concert. And honestly, much like Army de Tristan, I actually like the song better now. I was not a fan of it, but it means that I need to go back to the Zeit album, listen to it again all the way through.
It's a good album.
It is. It's not as good as the self-titled with the matchstick on the front. No, that one's
fantastic, but the new album is
But
good.
Yeah, Adieu, it's got a little bit of a kick to it. It's better than I gave it credit for. So I can admit that I'm wrong with a Rammstein song here and there. I've done that before. I remember the first time I heard Rosenrod, I thought it was And then eventually the song grew on me. And now it's one of my favorites. They don't play it in concert. They could bring back that song and play it in concert anytime, and I think people would be happy. They could bring back Stein um Stein. That would be fantastic too. There's a lot of songs of theirs that I would love to hear live, but they have to tour again. So it was just, California was fantastic. The LAX was not a fantastic experience. And the funny thing is, we got searched going down to the States. So first off, at the border, our vehicle was searched. And
like
lots of questions.
Our bags and going through things.
Lots of questions. Tons of questions. And it's like, we're middle-aged people with a minivan. Are we the problem now? Are we necessarily that's who the, like, we're randomly, but it felt like the whole trip we were being looked at, because then
I usually am, though.
Going through Seattle,
frequently randomly selected.
Going through SeaTac on the way down, they pulled one of my bags off because it was empty. Because I took an empty bag down as carry-on luggage, because I knew we were going to buy stuff while we were down there, and I wanted to make sure there was room for it. We've had that before where I pack bags, and then we buy stuff while we're down there, and then it's
One time in
overweight.
Vegas, we had to get a bag.
Like, it's almost overweight. And so I didn't want to have that. So I'm like, fine, it's just a couple day trip. I'm not bringing the computer. I'm not bringing whiteboards. And so, yeah, they got thrown off by the fact that my bag was empty. So they had to search it. I'm like, you can see there's nothing in it.
Well, then my bag was searched. They didn't like my yarn bag, which I've never had an issue with. They were getting all my little tools out, my little sewing kit, this big. They wanted to know how to open it. They wanted to know what things were. They wanted to know what my yarn needle was. They were trying to find my scissors, which are
scissors are this big. They're this big.
And they're trying to find, oh my gosh, it was so ridiculous.
Nobody move.
The lady behind me was a knitter, though, and so we were just talking about knitting and which yarn I was using, and she liked my colors.
Yeah, nobody move.
See,
I'm taking over this flight.
it was just silly. But I am frequently randomly selected, so I don't ever have my hair up when I go to the airport because I have multiple times been asked to take my hair out so they can grope my head. So
and then on the way home,
oh my gosh,
at LAX, first off,
I would like to
there's
never
not
go
enough
to LAX
seats
again ever.
There's not enough seats.
Nope.
Standing room only, which is fine with a concert or a sporting event. But
when you're at the terminals,
oh my gosh,
the terminals have enough seats for what, a quarter of the plane,
maybe.
And so just to get to the seating area that you're supposed to be at, you have to try and get through all of the terminals where it's way overflowing into the walkway. And we got to our terminal really early. We had like an hour and a half till our plane, not boarded, but till it left. And there was already no seats.
Yep.
There really were no seats. And then I go try and find a one of the water bottle fillers, and I couldn't find one. Nope. So I finally had to ask somebody, and they have the old kind that are connected to a water fountain that, like, not the normal one. It's weird. And then the washrooms were tiny.
The washrooms do not have enough capacity for
lots
when
of
flights
terminals.
are coming in and going out.
That was awful.
It's just
nope. And I got super duper groped to, like, I'm pretty sure they should have paid me for that. Oh my gosh, that
was very invasive.
That was
and
awful.
Not only
awful,
that,
awful.
But she was getting searched, and I got the feeling that the guy on my side was going to search me, but saw that my wife was already being searched.
That was terrible.
So I don't know what vibes we were giving off going down and coming back, but it just felt like the whole way we were under suspicion of something. I just
that was awful.
I don't know what it was. Maybe it's people who don't like my channels. He's that guy off YouTube. Yeah,
no,
he's
I do frequently get selected. I think this time it was I had studs on my pants, and so that's what did it. And I was good. I was
They
gonna
didn't
wear
set off the metal detector though, did they?
Yeah, they came up on the machine.
Okay.
Because I had visible studs on my pants, and I didn't even wear my jean jacket that I was going to because I knew that would set things off.
Yeah.
Because I have patches and pins all over it. So I didn't wear them, but I had studs on my pants, so that meant they needed to grope me. Like super.
I wasn't
if
looking.
you haven't been groped at the airport, it's super like really
We don't recommend
invasive.
it. We don't recommend it.
There are very few people in this world that have had that much of a feel of this. That was terrible. Oh my gosh. That was Nope, that was terrible.
We may not use LAX.
That was terrible,
again.
terrible.
Next time we go to LA, it's probably not going to be LAX.
That was awful.
I'm going to say probably not. That was not a great experience. And Los Angeles in general, while we were down there, and I know it was a small area we saw, but it just seems like an angry city. A lot of horn honking.
I've never
and not just like
that much.
like we have it here where somebody cuts you off and you honk the horn once, and you might, what are you doing? But there it's just the horn is just it's
all
like
the time.
15, 20. It's like he heard you the first 15 times. What are you doing? So I absolutely and there was a lot of just a lot of angry, nervous energy, even in the stadiums. The stadium, I kind of kept my head down for the most part when we were out, and there was large groups of people. I was like, all right, It
wasn't as bad there
No.
as it was everywhere else.
But there were still fights at both concerts.
Yeah.
So,
My theory is you always hear that Canadians are so nice. I think it's just everybody else is really angry.
There was a guy who was listening to us talk about it in the airport, and he laughed. He said, yeah, I've been in LA my whole life, and I don't know. Because they kept saying, I don't know why it's so angry down here. And I said to him, I'm Canadian. I don't get this. It was a lot of angry energy there. was like, wow, and then there was the hit and run that we were part of when we were going to the second concert.
We got the full LA experience. We did.
We were
we got all of it.
I still feel bad for Cyrus. I really do, because he's driving us to the concert, and lady's changing lanes, not paying attention.
Into the car.
And she sideswiped into the car, and then she just drove off.
off.
Yeah, she just drove off. So they did get the license plate, and I'll just let you guys, if you guys are watching, you can use us as witnesses if you're watching this. It qualifies. Doesn't matter if we're in Canada. We can vouch that, yeah, that's what happened. Because she just drove away. And then I started looking around, like, there's a lot of cars here that have dented front ends, back ends, crunch zones, missing fenders. A lot of that. I was like, there were some iffy, like, I watched this one, like a truck that he's sitting behind the guy, and he got kind of fed up, I guess, waiting for this guy to go. So he just hangs a left, and he just rifled it. And I'm like, there's no way he looked to make sure that all 3 lanes he just crossed didn't have a vehicle in them. So and there were so many moments that I kind of lost my breath watching some of the driving going on, or listening to some of the honking going. Like, and I even said to her, we were walking to what we thought might be a mall, but there wasn't one.
We couldn't find it.
We were like, there's got to be something to walk to, because we're spoiled. Thanks, Vegas. But yeah, it was.
We were not actually in walking distance.
Nah.
Of places.
Not
we
really.
Tried.
Nope. And so
we found CVS. Though.
We got pretty close to seeing some road rage there, where there were some really angry people, and it was like, wow, this is pretty intense. Not that Vancouver doesn't have its share of iffy driving and temperamental issues either. We've had that leaving Canuck games sometimes, where there's some really kind of negative energy, especially if I'm wearing a Boston or a jersey of the visiting team. I might have to watch myself coming out of the building. But yeah, I will say I really enjoyed the concerts. I thought that the staff at the venue were really good. I can honestly say the LA Coliseum, I thought, threw a really good party there, really good job. They did. I thought they needed at least 2 more merch areas.
Yeah.
Considering it's what, 50,000 people, and you've got 4 merch areas, so that's 12,000 people per merch area. Well, they had one on
the floor though. They did have one on the floor. I don't know if most of the floor.
Well, for general admission.
That. Yeah.
So that's 10,000 per station.
Right.
And that's not enough, because again, a lot of people wanted to get merch, knowing how rare it is for Rammstein to tour North America. So this one is a Zeit t-shirt, which again, I now have 2 Zeit t-shirts, so my streak remains. I had a Mooter one at one point. I don't know if I still have that. I had a Ryza one, but I know I don't have that one anymore. So I did see some shirts that I used to have and don't anymore at the concert, which made me kind of sad. I used to have the Anime Girl one, which it ended up getting. I think it got ripped. I had the German one, or the Japanese girl one, and it got ripped, I think. But anyways, great trip, lots of fun, and I'm honestly glad that we did it. It was not cheap. Tickets weren't cheap. The flights weren't cheap. But it was an experience that... And there was the guy behind us when we were on the flight going from Seattle to LA that said, well, you're better off spending your money on things to do rather than things you own. And I thought, probably a good motto. I like that both. So as you can see from the jerseys in the background, I kind of like both. So why not both? I can get things to have, like these shirts, while I have things to do, like go to the concert where I buy this shirt. So, both. They are both winners. So, but seriously, LA just needs to just chill just a little bit. Just relax. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? The one image that always comes to mind when I think like that is in Donnie Darko, there's a point where his girlfriend, because he's all mad about... What's he mad about? I'm trying to remember which scene it is where he's really angry, and she's like, just stop. Settle down. Settle down. Why are you so mad? Just relax. And I kind of feel like sometimes I want to have that same energy, because she was right. And yeah, so anyways, there you go. Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, we didn't talk at all about going to the beach.
No, I mentioned we went from Venice Beach to Santa Monica, and I got burnt. I got a couple pairs of sunglasses. You got the boys' t-shirts. And the sand was fantastic. We took pictures on the pier. First at Venice Beach and then at Santa Monica. So that was great. And you got the fruit cup, which they don't have anything like that around here.
No.
So they had a lot of those though. Those carts. I noticed that after that there was a lot of those carts where they just have all these really nice tropical fruits, and then they stick whatever crap in there that you ask for, and then
No, it's lime juice and tahini, and you can have like I think it's like a chili sauce or something, but I don't do that.
And then you just throw all your crap in there, and then you eat your fruit and crap, and then off you go. Don't call it fruit and crap though; nobody will buy it that way. So, just as like an FYI. But it was nice to get that done, and it was also nice of Rammstein to have their concerts during non-hockey season. It was very nice.
That was convenient.
And
That
relieved
worked
a
out
lot
well.
of the stress. I mean, I know I missed the first day of the preseason, but did I really miss it? I missed the first day of preseason, so it's not earth-shattering. It's one of those things. We didn't do anything really hockey related. We at one point had an idea of going by the Kings Arena and maybe seeing the Gretzky statue and everything, but just we didn't have the time. And it was fine. This wasn't as much about a hockey trip as it was about an entertainment guy trip, and talking about this wonderful concert with all you fine people, and being able to talk about entertainment options. I mean, one thing I wanted to get, but I thought that'd be heavy, was some of those blankets, those Mexican blankets.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that'd be kind of fun, or maybe a poncho. Like I'd wear one of those. That'd be kind of fun. But again, with that weight and then fitting it all, because we didn't have like the big luggage with us.
No.
So I
We
thought
only had our
I don't want to
carry-on.
get a bunch of stuff and then end up with it being heavy or a pain to carry around. So she packed much heavier than I did this time. So, is there anything you wanted to throw in about the walk along Venice Beach?
Oh, it was just nice. It was really long, but
The
it
Venice
was really
Beach,
cool
the
looking and
Muscle
everything.
Beach dudes,
Pass on that.
the skate
Nope.
park.
That was fun. That was fun watching people skate at the skate park.
I'm surprised there aren't like major wipeouts.
Oh, I'm
'Cause-
sure there are.
Because there's
course
the
there
one
are.
bowl there that there's like a very small area, and then there's the other bowl right next to it. I thought it'd be very easy for somebody to come up and then just catch the lip of the other bowl and then roll off
I'm
of it.
sure it happens.
So, but yeah, there was that, and then I mean all the shops. Like I said, I got down there and realized I didn't have my sunglasses. They were in the van. So we get out of the plane in LA, and I'm like, and I don't have my sunglasses, because I had them in the bag, and I thought, well, I don't want them getting smushed, because we knew we were going to put it with check luggage. So we knew they were going to ask, so who's got
Carry-on.
carry-on
We didn't
that they want to check?
There you go.
So I was like, yeah, I'll then I don't have to carry any bags. But I thought, I don't want to have to worry about my sunglasses getting smashed, so I'll just carry them on me. Nope, left them in the van, because we knew they were going to ask for who wants to check their carry-on, because they do that with every flight. It just makes you wonder why they don't give you the
and
option.
if you're on full flights, and we know
And our
you're on
flights
full
were
flights.
very full, with Rammstein fans going down and coming back. So we were one of the few that went to both concerts. Most people just went to one or the other, but we did both, because the tickets were available a year apart. So they scheduled one concert, and then they scheduled the other one when they'd already delayed, and it was like, well, while we're down there, we might as well go to both. I don't see a reason not. And it's a good thing, because if we'd just gone to one, we wouldn't have got the t-shirts.
Well, we would have stayed in line.
I don't know. That line, it was going to be so long, and I think we would have missed the start of the show. Because just timing it out, it was like, I don't think we're going to get up there before the show starts. I don't want to miss the start of the show. So there was that. But it was great. It was a fun show. If you saw them live, you know what I'm talking about. It was an excellent experience. We had a lot of fun too. Anything else? Are you going to send like a Christmas card to the TSA agent that
That was awful.
checked out all your...
That was terrible.
You're not going
That
to...
was absolutely awful. I don't know what they have to feel. What am I putting up there?
Well,
They scanned that area.
man.
Otherwise, she had to have her hands all
man.
the way up in there 4 times.
Man,
That was awful.
that's...
Absolutely awful.
That's not fun. All right.
Awful.
But our next trip isn't planned until end of January, and that's the Disneyland trip. So that's taking place around the All-Star break in the National Hockey League. So I'll have a few days where there's not hockey on. I'll probably pre-record videos then. And there's no Rammstein concerts at Disneyland. That's too bad. Are there any acts that perform with fire and metal and...
Well, they have a lot of fireworks and shows with
That's
fireworks.
not the same. It's not the same.
So.
I don't know. It'll be a downer, but I'll just pretend it's not. All right. Thank you guys so much, though, for all your support. It means a lot. Thank you to our hosts for giving us drives around, and many apologies for... I feel bad for what... I know the hit and run wasn't my fault. I understand that, but I feel bad. So hopefully everything's okay with that. I understand that the damage wasn't that bad, but still. Just... Anyways, I'd never been part of a hit and run or even seen a hit and run that I could remember, so that was different. And it's a jarring experience to be in a vehicle and realize we just got hit. What the hell? So that was different. So take it easy, California. Chill out, Los Angeles. And we will see you again some other time. But thank you guys so much for all your support. Great set list. Absolutely fantastic. There will be other Rammstein videos on this channel between now and the start of hockey season. Don't be surprised. But act surprised, because that's fun too. All right, hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, especially if you're a Rammstein fan. And I will talk to you again soon.